this is like fun with other, running friends. So I'm like, I'm going to do it because I knew it would put me in a good mood. You are my BRF.
What's happening, Erika?
There for your victory lap.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I just, how did that happen?
How did you do that?
And all of a sudden I go to zip it up and I'm like, why is the zipper in the front right now? 0 out of 10 on the recommendation scale.
I am literally crying from laughter and from so much love. Oh my God.
It's like I see off for your cornhole.
And he just smashed Arnie like that and said, you stay out of this, Arnie. And I thought,
I don't run to stay sober. I get to run because I am.
Tell him there she was, a halo over her head.
No, it's not very true. Okay.
And he steps to the side and just gestures. Here's the tinkle pot.
I don't need to tinkle.
1, 2, 3, 4. What's up, everybody? And welcome to episode 236 of the On the Runs podcast. And it's Tuesday, baby. It's the best day to make better than yesterday. And tomorrow is Global Running Day. But before we get to any of that and our amazing guest today, I must say hello to my amazing, kick-ass, rockstar for co-host, 6-star Erika. What's up?
Eric, what's up, buddy? I feel like I haven't talked to you all weekend. I was kind of off the grid.
Yeah, and you made no content, so no one knew what you did and what's going on. And unfortunately, none of them are going to get to know.
Until like next week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, because we're going to get right to our guests pretty soon. But you did like some mudding in Vermont, right?
I did. I was crewing in Vermont for a friend of mine who was working on her 100-miler attempt at Infinitas. And just Google that race, you guys. There's a ton of different options, but it is a super intense trail race.
Okay.
And my badass friend Hester just crushed 100 freaking
Oh,
miles
it was
there.
Hester, who the
Yeah.
one you'll never invite me to go on a run sometimes with her because you're like, it's Hester's run. She invited me. I can't invite my friends. It would be weird. Okay, yeah, her.
Now
Gotcha.
we can. I've gotten to know her so much better, so maybe I'll introduce you into the fold this time around.
All right. Yeah. Guys, I'm not that special. She's not like, yeah.
But we're
Anyways.
not talking about you. We're talking about her and how badass she is and how
I swear to
she
God, you're
did,
just going
like-
to say we're not talking about me. We're talking about you. But
No,
good-
her.
Good save there.
She did like
No.
19,000 feet of climbing over 100 miles. And
That's insane.
She's the most badass runner I can even think of right now. She's amazing.
Well, let's do a little programming note. And then I'll tell you what I did yesterday since you told me a little bit about what you did.
Sure.
But this episode, we're going to get right to Jeremy in about 3 minutes, guys. Programming note, we're back tomorrow. Because, Erika, what is tomorrow?
It's Global Running Day.
We have an amazing episode tomorrow where we just do one of our favorite things. We don't do it often, but when we do, it's a lot of fun. We're calling Pod Fam on the pod, and we're calling not the usual ones we always call. We're calling some ones that, you're going to love to hear from. Erika doesn't know about half of them, so she's like excited to hear the phone call.
I cannot wait,
And
you guys.
we left a couple voicemails for the ones who didn't pick up. It was a lot of fun, and we're just celebrating running, celebrating our pod fam, thanking everyone for coming on. That's tomorrow. And then you're going away on vacation, and you put in red on the calendar, Erika can't record. So I planned it well. Next week will be the Millennium Running Run to Remember Half Marathon Expo Day. And if you will think like, no, you already dropped that. We dropped only the live stream, that hour on that Saturday.
We got a lot more for you guys.
We got a lot more. And it's delayed because you took my podcast gear home with you because I went back to camping in the rain the whole time. Man, this rain has sucked, but the weather coming up is nice.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we still had it. I'm just mad. Why does the rain have to be on a weekend? Like,
I know.
Just
It's the
work with us
worst.
here. Work with us.
The worst. But then we're thinking about coming back next Thursday to just do one with you and me because
Yeah.
we haven't
catch
talked
up.
in forever.
Mm-hmm.
We have, but not to you, Pod Fam. We haven't talked to you. So
We got to fill you in on what's been up and what's new.
Right. So next week on Thursday, if not the following week on Thursday, we'll do a wicked awesome catch up, Tros only. We do have an amazing guest who did the Coca-Cola. Eric, spit it out. We do have an amazing. I'm leaving that in too. We have an amazing guest who did Coca-Cola as well. So like we got some amazing stuff, and then we got our huge, wicked fun summer series where over half of our couples, we're talking to couples throughout the summer, over half of them are from New Hampshire. Like, we're
I love
really
that.
like honing in on the local here because we'll
Mhm.
always stay local, even when we go out there and find people like Meb and people like Bex or maybe someone like Brittany Charbonneau.
Winkety wink. Yeah.
Guess what
Ah.
I did yesterday for the first time in 7 years, and I think for the second time in about 15 years.
Well, I already know, so do you really want me to guess?
Yeah, I want you to say it.
All right, guys. Eric played pickup hockey the other day. Like, actually played. There we go.
It was awesome.
How'd it go?
It was so much fun.
You said it definitely raised your heart rate.
Oh my God, dude, I'm out of shape. Like there's
Oh.
being in shape and then there's doing a new sport and you just feel like you're not in that sport shape. But
Ah.
Justin has been trying to get me to go play hockey with him for over a month. And I told him after, I'm like, thanks for asking me every time you go to play to come because every time I couldn't go. But then eventually, I even said I could not go on Sunday night. And then things changed. A rainstorm came in. Actually, shift got canceled because of the rain. I'm like, you still
Mhm.
going? I can go. Dude, an hour and a half of ice time. I was spent.
It is so crazy. Like, you have been putting in so much work, though. So I feel like you are better off to play just a random pickup game because you've been doing that recycled fit. Like, how many times
You
a
like
week?
how
3
I call
times?
it recycled fit, by the way?
I mean, it makes sense. You're
It's
with
a
the
great
recycled
name.
percussion guys. So, like, that's just, you have your dedication to that. You're like, you're getting back into things. And now you can just be like, all right, yeah, I'm in
I
the
wanna-
mood. Let's go
I
pick it
want to
up.
play a little more. I scored 3 goals, but I did not score those 3 goals until the last 15 minutes when
Oh, shit.
a couple things happened. One, I probably started to feel the puck better because my hands were like stones for the beginning. Like every time I would catch a pass or try to
What
pass.
position do you usually play? Like, are you?
I was
are you-
always a forward, but I was playing defense a lot because I
Okay.
just felt like I had to feel I didn't want to be like charging into the boards. And I did fall, land on my elbow, and it
Oof.
hurt,
Mhm.
but I kept playing. If I was a basketball player, I would have been out for like 3 months. So
Oh my god.
I got to go get some gear. It's funny. I got a hockey puck here, and there's the Timberlane owl
Nice.
right there. It was so much fun. I need to do different things than just run. You just run all the time. That's fine.
I
I
do,
need the
but
skiing. I need the running. I need the hockey. I need the recycled fit.
yeah, I'm starting to at least change up the terrain. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
actually talked to a really cool, funny guy who only runs trails a little bit
Yep.
outside
had
of his
so-
other funny stuff.
I had so many conversations over the weekend because the weather was not great for Hester's race. And we spent, so I went out on, she had to do a 9-mile lap, 18, 9, 18, 9, 18, 18. So that eventually adds up to 100-ish miles. And I caught her for her 4th lap, which was 18 miles, a big loop. And we get 10 miles in and it starts to absolutely downpour. This is Friday. And it totally destroyed the trails. I'm not having it, but I'm trying to like be positive for Hester. And I'm like, we can do this. We're doing fine. But we get like so much elevation, 18 miles in a hiking loop. And then I'm like finally warming up, talking to some people around a bonfire. And they're just like, you know what? I would take this any day over a road. And I'm like, are you kidding me? There's no friggin' way. This is why I stick to the roads, just because it's easy. I mean, it may be more fun to be out in the rain, in the mud, but like me, I'm like, oh God, this is so totally out of my element. But just seeing what these people were out there doing, I had an absolute blast and I'm so proud of my friend. So I just want to put that out there that I am trying different things way outside of my comfort zone.
Try a triathlon.
That's where you get the cricket button where I just shut up and cricket. There it is. Okay.
Anyways, I said it was to be a 3-minute intro. It's
Yeah.
been much longer, but we have a wicked awesome guest today. Erika,
You.
tell us about Jeremy.
Oh, I'm so pumped. We have the Ironheart Jeremy on the podcast, and he's just such an inspiring person. You're gonna hear all about like the heart issues that he had and trying
Zipper
to
Club.
the Zipper Club. I didn't realize that was a thing, but he's not the only one. It's just such an incredible thing for him to like to happen to him and for him to overcome. And he just has such an inspiring story. You guys are going to really enjoy it.
Jeremy's wicked awesome. Also, thank you to My Race Tats for bringing us this incredible episode. This one's good, guys. You're going to love some of these stories. Like, he was on his deathbed. We'll put it there. Like,
Yep.
Embrace this one. It's incredible. Jeremy Woodward, or as many of you know him as Ironheart Jeremy, on the On the Runs podcast. Our next guest on the pod is a Team Abbott member, an Ironman, an 8-time Boston Marathoner. He's had 2 open heart surgeries, and he's closing in on 400 races since the most recent surgery. He lives life to the fittest, and I can't wait to talk to him. One of New Hampshire's own, Jeremy Woodward. Welcome to the On the Runs podcast. What's up, buddy?
Thank you so much for having me on, guys. This has been a long time coming. And like I was saying pre-show, this is going to be the highlight of my week. So I'm very much looking forward to this.
Job, Jeremy. You're too kind. And we're just so excited that we could finally make this happen. I know it has been a long time in the works, but we're so happy to have you here. You're going to be an awesome fit, and we can't wait to learn more about you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Again, thank you so much for having me on, guys.
We learned a little bit about you last March. We ran into you at the St. Patty's 5K, 10K. We were doing the live show. You walked over, you talked to us with your friend. I think his name was Jeff. You're both training for the Boston Marathon. And you're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, this guy's really good on a podcast. He talks really well. He knows how to use a microphone, because a lot of people forget they have to talk into a microphone. And then as you're leaving, you just casually go, oh, by the way, I have my own podcast. It's called Live Life to the Fittest. And I go, I know who you are.
And that's why you're so good on the mic. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. And Jeff and I, we were laughing so hard on the ride back, because I was like, Jeff, you brought up how he and I originally connected, and it was at a funeral home. And I said, Jeff, remember that show Wedding Crashers? We need to start going to funerals and start talking to people. This would be perfect.
Ma, the meatloaf, Ma.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Hey, it really works. Apparently,
It works.
Really
It works. I mean, what a
Funeral
place, right? Funerals. Like, let's start going to funerals.
Yeah. Maybe we try weddings first. Just a happier occasion.
Or
I
races.
agree.
Let's just stick to races.
That
Bingo.
would be, yeah.
Right?
We're all off the market, but let's just go and test the waters and see, like, you can always look at the menu. You just can't order off it, is what a teacher of mine told me once.
They're not wrong.
I am not going to say anything, because my wife will probably listen to this episode, and I don't want to get myself in trouble.
Listen, we're all smart people here. We know what we're doing. We know what we're not doing either. So we're not doing any of that, but we are podcasting with you, man. Listen, we kind of know bits and pieces of your story. We don't know a whole lot, though. I know you've had open heart surgeries. I know you have a podcast. I listened to it, by the way, with DJ Darren Roy. I didn't even know DJ had like all these open heart surgeries. So that was so fun to listen and learn about DJ and kind of learn a little more about you. But why don't you fill us in a little bit about who Jeremy is?
Absolutely. Before we get to that, funny story about DJ Darren. I had no idea. He and I had worked a whole bunch of races together. And then one day he's like, I've had open heart surgery. And I was like, I'm part of the Zipper Club as well. And then we connected after that. Yeah.
Wow.
He is an awesome dude. But
yeah.
So I was born with a congenital heart defect. I've had multiple heart surgeries. I was told when I was born with a congenital heart defect, which was a bicuspid aortic heart valve. So most people, healthy hearts is a tricuspid. Helps facilitate blood flow through the body. I was only born with a bicuspid. My doctor told me, he's like, look, you'll probably never ever have an issue with it, but if you do, kind of put an asterisk next to it, you're going to know. If you have a problem, you're definitely going to know. And, I never ever thought about it, because I just lived a very normal life growing up. I played sports, played basketball. I went to Bishop Brady High School, played on the 97 championship team.
So you're born and raised in New Hampshire.
Born and raised in New Hampshire, Concord, New Hampshire. Yep. And it was, everything was pretty normal. Now, looking back on things, I knew there were definitely things that were abnormal about the time. But yeah, I went through everything was pretty normal up until I was 21, almost about to turn 22 years old. I ended up becoming symptomatic, was very like flu-like symptoms. And then I also started getting black and blues all over my body, joints. The doctors initially thought that, maybe I mean, there was all these things that were being thrown around. And the next thing you know, I'm over at Concord Hospital and they're shoving a camera down my throat, doing a transesophageal echo, shoves it right down here. It's horrible. It totally sucks. I hated it. But they went down 15 minutes later. They're like, you have a huge abscess on your heart valve, on the diseased heart valve. So I'm thinking like, oh my goodness, what does this all mean? Well, a half hour later, they had me in an ambulance, rushing me to Boston Med.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, it was wild. So I'm almost 22 years old at the time. They get me down to Boston. They do their thing, and they said, "Yeah, you got to have an open heart surgery." They tried putting me on some preventative antibiotics, but after 2 days, they saw no decline whatsoever.
Mhm.
So, and the decline in the size of the abscess. So they ended up putting, they went in, did my first open heart surgery. It gave me the option prior to surgery. They said you can either get a tissue valve or a mechanical heart valve. Now I was 22 and I'm like, I don't want to have a mechanical one because if I go with a mechanical, that's going to mean that I'm going to have to be on blood thinners. If I'm on blood thinners, I can't do the things that I like. At the time, I was heavily, heavily competing in karate, tournaments, fighting, all that stuff. I was like, that's out of the question. Can't do it.
Okay, yeah, totally off limits.
Totally off limits. So I was like, I'll go with the tissue valve. What's wrong with the tissue valve? And they
Mhm.
said, well, if you go with the tissue valve and I was like, well, I'm gonna hedge my bets here. And I ended up going with the tissue valve. Literally almost 7 years to the day, that valve failed. This time,
Oh,
though,
no.
the symptoms were totally different. Um, I had and it was very acute as well. So I ended up getting fluid. I gained like 10 pounds. I had also made at that time a very big jump in my life career wise.
Mhm.
So I initially attributed it to just a change in career. My wife and we had just gotten married not too long before that. So I wasn't even thinking it's something with the heart valve. And then within a month, I was walking up a flight of stairs. I got to the second or third flight. It was the craziest thing. I couldn't breathe, and I didn't know. Like you could have asked me what is my name. I was like, I have no idea. I had no idea what was going on, and it came back to the fluid retention. Um, 3 months later, I've got now about 30 pounds of fluid on me. Organs are starting to shut down. We go to a hospital here, not Concord Hospital, but we went to another one who I will not name names, but
Ooh,
I'm not
drama,
gonna name any
juicy
names.
details.
Uh-oh.
I will say at the time they had the highest mortality rate of any hospital in the state of New
Oh,
Hampshire.
no.
So we went there and it was wild. It was right around the 4th of July. In fact, it was the 3rd. It was July 3rd
Mhm.
because my wife was like pissed because she's always goes to Wolfboro for the 4th of July where she's from. She's never
Oh.
missed the parade. She's like, I'm gonna miss the parade. I'm like, well, okay,
You
whatever.
got
either
some
miss a
stuff going
parade or
on.
you miss me, honey. It's one or the other.
And I think at the time she's like, I might take the parade. I don't know. But I'm in the hospital. They do some more exams. So then they said, okay, tomorrow morning, the 4th of July, you're gonna have your gallbladder out. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna fix me. Great, whatever. We go in there, and there was this angel nurse who stepped in, and she was, overriding the doctor. And she
Mhm.
said, he cannot be operated on. She's like, he cannot, if he gets operated on, he will die on the table. There is more going on to what, than a gallbladder. Yes, his gallbladder does need to come out, but there's more going on. The craziest thing is 6 hours later, they didn't do the surgery. They come in the room and they give me the discharge paperwork. They're like, "We'll see you in a couple of weeks." My wife and I
Whoa.
were like, "What?"
So you're
10
still
minutes
having all these issues. They did not resolve anything for you. And they're just like,
Zero.
see ya.
Zero. They're ready to kick me out. And I was like, was I that annoying? Like, what is it? They just want to
Yeah.
kick me out. I don't know.
What's
So
going on?
anyway, we go home for the night. 2 days, I think it was 2 or 3 days later, my wife had to go on a work trip. I
Mhm.
called my best friend at the time. You gotta go, you gotta listen to your intuition. And I knew when my wife left to go to the Cape for work, I was like, something's wrong. Something is seriously wrong. I called my best
Yeah.
friend up. I'm like, Jake, you got to come over here. I don't even know. I told him, I said, I don't even know if I'm going to make it through tonight. I don't want to worry my wife, but something is not right. I knew it. I couldn't, it was just, there was this intuition was telling me.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I was very, very sick. My wife ended up coming home. She had had enough, got me in the car. We drove down to Boston the next morning. We check in to, we would go through an emergency department down at Tufts Medical. At the time, it was New England Medical. We get down there, the doctors come in, they literally look at my neck and they could see it's pulsing. And I could see the concern on the head of the cardiac unit. I could see the concern on his face. He leaves, he comes back. Now he's got a team with him of at least 5 or 6 doctors.
Mhm.
Now they come over, touches my neck, kind of looks at me and he says, he's like, I'm going to tell you this. He's like, if you didn't come in, you probably had less than 24 hours to live.
Oh
He's like,
my God.
there is no doubt. He's like, if you had stayed home another 24 to 48 hours, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It would be an entirely different situation. And he's like, I looked at your medical reports from previous to the hospital. If they had opened you up and operated on the table, he's like, you would have died on the table, no doubt. So he's like, we're going to immediately get you on a list for a donor heart, a
Mhm.
transplant, because he's like, we don't know how bad it is. So he's like, we're gonna cross our fingers. So I'm like super positive, super optimistic. I said to him, I said, so is this like an outpatient thing? And he like looks at me and they're all laughing. They're like, there is no outpatient. They're like, if you leave the hospital, you will not come back. Like, that's it. They immediately got me on diuretics. They had to get all the fluid off of me.
Mhm.
I'm normally somewhere around 180 pounds ish, 185, give or take. Um, I had ballooned up to about 220 pounds of fluid.
Oh my
Yeah, it
God.
was
You must
crazy.
have been
I mean,
so uncomfortable on top of
it
just
was
feeling like total crud. Oh,
it was
Jeremy.
awful. It was awful. I mean, like when they say skin literally stretches and it's painful, that was my stomach, it was my legs. I would put on a pair of sweatpants and they literally look like cycling tights. I
Oh
mean, that's
no.
it was so bad. It
Mhm.
was so bad. So I spend 3 weeks in the hospital pre-surgery, or actually, I'm sorry, 2 weeks in the hospital pre-surgery. They had to get me to an operable state. Now, they did disclose to me, they said, if you go into cardiac arrest, we can't save you. We're going to open you up. We're going to do everything, but there's no way we're going to be able to save you in the state that you're in. So let's
Mhm.
cross our fingers and hope that everything is all good. And fortunately, I didn't go into cardiac arrest, but they did get the fluid off of me. They got me to an operable state. They were
Well,
going to do the
ho- ho-
surgery. Yeah,
I got many questions, and I
sure.
hate to like interrupt the pace of this, but what is your mind thinking right
I
there?
was gonna ask that too.
I
Like,
might
you
not
must
come
have had
out
some
of this.
serious emotions.
Uh, well, like I said,
Like you
I'm a
just breezed
very
over that like a 5K.
I'm a very positive and very optimistic. So I'm looking at it from the standpoint of I have to be strong for my wife. My wife and I, we've been married at that point for about a year, year and a half. She has totally lost it because they're telling her, we're putting him on we're going to begin the process of putting him on a transplant list. If you go into cardiac arrest, we can't save him. So, I mean, I figured the only thing I know is to be positive and optimistic. That's it.
Mhm.
Okay.
It didn't hit me until after the surgeries, until after the second surgery.
Like when you wake
Um,
up.
even post that because I wasn't out of the window after that surgery. I was not out of the window at all. There was still some other things we had to get beyond. But backtracking a little bit, we go into we had this 2 or 3 week window of them getting all the fluid off of me.
Mhm.
And then they came back to me and they said, well, you have an option. you want a mechanical valve or do you want a tissue valve? And I was like,
This
well,
is
let's
the
know
second time you're getting the option, right?
second time.
Okay.
I'm like,
Okay.
All right, let me pause you because
Sure.
I already got questions.
Sure.
And that was one of them. So I looked up the differences between a mechanical and a tissue. And a mechanical is very durable. It's very, besides the blood thinners, it has maximum durability, lasts your lifetime. The tissue valve one is made of animal tissue and it's not for long term. So it will only last 10 to 20 years. The other key note here, this came from a college in Boston called Harvard. I don't know if you ever heard of Harvard. Harvard
have.
Health, that the mechanical is favored for young patients under the age of 60.
Mhm.
You were 22. Why did
The
you
first
choose
time.
the tissue outside of the blood thinners? Was that the only reason?
Most of it was because I was very active. I was competing, doing a lot of sparring, very heavily involved in karate. I didn't want to mess that up. I didn't want to
Mm.
disrupt it. And I also thought too, I'm like, I'm 22. I'm invincible, right?
What year was this, by the way?
That would have been in 2000.
So would we have known those facts about the mechanical versus tissue 25, 26 years ago?
Well, we wouldn't have had as easy access to it. Now, they came in and gave me a pamphlet and they said, this is what it is. Here you go. Tomorrow morning we do surgery. I didn't have this at my fingertips to
Right.
go on. There were no Facebook groups. There was there was no support groups at all whatsoever, other than the person sitting in the bed next to me who was 70 years old, who was going through the same thing. And I'm like 45, 50 years younger than this individual. I'm going to go with a tissue valve. I'm going to live 15, 20 years. Now, I do know of an individual who does have a tissue valve, and he has lived with that valve for 15 years. A very healthy, very fit life. He's gone on to do many marathons and Ironman. But the last conversation I had with him about a year ago, it's coming to an end, and I'm going to have, he was telling me he's going to have surgery.
So is he getting symptoms where he can tell that the valve is starting to fail?
He could tell. And then, going back to my childhood, I always thought that I was just a normal, living normally. But I struggled when it came to working really, putting a lot of load on the heart, cardiovascular stuff, wind sprints. I mean, I would outwork everybody in the gym from skills and all that stuff. But I could not go in and sprint and hang with everybody because I just couldn't catch my breath. And of course, looking back, I didn't have a healthy heart. I didn't have a strong heart, but the heart that I did have, as strong as it was, is really truly what saved me. I mean, when they went in and especially the second time, when they went in and did surgery, he told me literally, I mean, I don't know if you've looked up what goes on in an open heart surgery, but they crack your chest open, they take your heart out, they do that thing, they put you on a heart-lung bypass machine, and you're literally you're dead. And they said my heart was he said it was crumbling. There were pieces of it that were literally breaking off. I know, it's total insanity when I think about it. It's so crazy.
I mean, I think everyone understands it's probably the most serious operation. Like your heart stops technically, right? Right.
Yeah. It has to.
And then they bring you back to life. You have seen the light.
Twice.
Maybe. Twice. Okay, before we go back to your next decision of mechanical versus tissue for the second time, I want to know about the camera they stuck down your throat, and I really want to know more. Were you awake for it?
They give you a partial sedation. So I do remember them inserting it in, going down. I remember them looking, doing it was, and I say it was 15 minutes. It may have only been 5 minutes. The worst part though was
forever.
the gag. It was a gag. When they pulled that sucker out, I puked everywhere. It was awful.
I don't blame you.
So then the second time when I go in, they said to me, they're like, we got to do a TE, a transesophageal echo. And I was like, I was like, can you do, and he's like, and they ended up aborting it. No, they aborted it. And they didn't end up doing it because they knew, they're like, they did all the other, every other test that you could imagine. So, yeah.
Oh, so they could tell without doing that they still needed to proceed with what they needed to do.
They knew what was up, and they knew that was probably going to be a very last
Please
resort
just spare me that one piece.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Jeremy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So impressive what they can do now, what they could do then. Like, and
Mhm.
if you ever watch those medical shows that show like those really intense details of
Oh.
they spare no detail.
Mhm.
So you know what they're doing now? They're doing portals now. So they go up through your
Yeah,
rib cage,
I've
or they
seen.
do TAVR. They go up through your leg and total valve replacements. You're in and out of the hospital in 1 night, 2 days, if that. So
That is mind-blowing.
it's
Absolutely
crazy.
mind-blowing.
It is. Yeah.
So let's go back to that next time in the hospital though, and you know you need to get a new valve, tissue or mechanical. What did
Mhm.
you choose?
I went with mechanical. I don't want to do this again.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't ever want to have to do this again. And I also, the surgeon, his name was Dr. Hassan Rastegar. Amazing. Like, apparently prior to me, he had operated on some royalty and, in the Middle East. Like, he is the best of the best at this particular type of
Mm.
surgery. And I just
Did
knew
you
that
have it in Boston? Like, is he based in
second.
Boston or does he travel the world to do these?
No, it was in Boston, and from what I was told, this family from the Middle East came over and apparently rented out or whatever they did, an entire unit for, like, 3 weeks, at the hospital so that they could do the surgery. Yeah, it's pretty
Well, I'm
wild,
glad they
pretty
did
crazy.
because they saved they saved
I
your heart.
know, I know. He was so, I mean, there was even at one point, like 2 or 3 days prior to the day that they did my surgery, he was supposed to operate and they canceled it at the last second. And I thought, "Uh-oh, is it?" And he said, "No, nothing." He was so particular about who's in the room, who
Mhm.
is handing him his medical instruments, who is doing anesthetics. I mean, he was so particular, and somebody happened to be sick, and he's like, "I'm not doing it." So,
Wow.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that just shows how much confidence he has, though, in his team. So he wanted his whole team to be there to ensure
Yeah.
your success and your health.
Yeah, and I that day was one of 3 people. I was the first to go that day, but I was one of 3 that he was doing.
Mhm.
So, I was in really, really good hands there. I was
How
very lucky,
common
very
is
fortunate.
this? Like, I know it's
Uh,
probably common, but 3 times in a day, it doesn't happen every day then, does it? Or does this?
I don't know what his schedule, I don't know if it's, they do it 3 days a week. I mean, I can't imagine
Right.
operating at that level 3,
Well, I
4,
mean,
5
like,
days
in
a week.
general, what you have and what others have had, like Darren, how
Yeah,
common is this amongst just normal people?
more common than we think. I don't know the numbers, the
Mm.
specifics, but it is more common. I mean, I was just at a run, oh geez, it was back in, I think it was back in end of March-ish. It was not the St. Patty's Day race when I saw you guys, but it was another one, and I happened to be talking to the guy, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I've had open heart surgery." And I was like, "What?"
Zipper Club.
So Zipper Club, I was like, let's see it right here." So, yeah.
That's a
Wild.
really intense scar, but I mean, you should wear it with a badge of honor. You guys have been through so much just to be able to live normally and yeah, show it off with pride.
Yeah, I mean, I literally tell people, like, it's a knife. I was knifed. I mean, I was.
You were knifed, you were cracked like
I
your
was cracked,
balls.
knifed. Actually,
Yeah.
it's a saw. It's a medical
Ugh,
saw, which is
that doesn't make it any
just
better. Nope.
no, oh, nasty, gross.
Heebie-jeebies.
Oh,
What were
getting
you doing
chills.
at this point in your life? Like, around the time you had the incident where you didn't wanna bother your wife, you got rushed to the hospital, which we all have learned, just go to Boston. We
Just go
love
to
New
Boston.
Hampshire,
Basically.
go to Boston. But
Yep.
were you active? Were you running? Were you doing Ironmans? Were you just doing karate? What were you doing?
I was doing a little bit of running, not races, but just more so to stay in shape. At the time,
Mhm.
I was 29 years old, the second time around. So I was running, still very heavily involved in karate and lifting and all that. Um, that was I had just made a huge transition. I'd been working for my dad in construction, and I made a transition to personal training, and that's when I started getting into the fitness business. So I
Mhm.
had literally quit my job working with my dad, started training, built up a full clientele, had to tell a full clientele after 4 months, I'm out of here. And and I didn't go back for I did the surgery was in August. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was in August, and I didn't go back to work until November. So I had a
Mhm.
long rehab. It was a rough, I'd already done it before. I knew what to expect, but the second time around was pretty brutal. I had a couple during surgery. they had sewed me up. They did everything, and I ended up having a collapsed lung twice. Same lung, same
Whoa.
side, collapsed. So I had broken ribs. I remember waking up from the surgery the second time because you know what to expect, right?
Yeah.
I knew that I was going to wake up and get sick and all that, but I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, my ribs, like what? And then they told me that was almost more painful than this, than the
Ooh.
being opened up. And yeah, so that was that the second time around. It was pretty nuts, pretty crazy. Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
I cannot imagine the trauma this actually puts on like your body, but even mentally, like I don't know, Jeremy. But
Been
with
through a
this
lot.
mechanical valve, that's where you get that nickname, right? Ironheart Jeremy?
Yes, the Ironheart was actually given to me from a reporter here in Concord. He did a piece
Oh,
on me
awesome. Mhm.
before, I think it was before I did Ironman Lake Placid, and the front page of the newspaper, it was Ironheart, and I was like, "That's awesome. That's gonna
I
stick
love
with me for the
this.
rest of my life." I love it. So,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So that's how that all came about. But like, I never, I had heard of triathlon. I had heard of all of it, but I didn't know it. I didn't understand it until I was in the hospital before my second open
Mhm.
heart surgery. And I remember my wife had given me some stuff to read just to kind of take my mind off of things that morning. And I remember reading about the Ironman, and I was like, okay, if I get through this, I am going to do the hardest single day event that I know of now, which is the Ironman. I remember the docs came in that afternoon. They're meeting with me and my wife. This is what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And they said, what are you thinking? I said, you're going to save my life. You're going to get me through this. And I'm going to do the Ironman. And they were like, it totally floored them. And they thought I was messing with me. And they said something to my wife. They're like, he needs to get his head checked after all of this. Seriously,
know
they were
what?
kind of just
You know what? These doctors should know better. How many times do we hear these stories?
yeah.
You'll never run again. You'll never do
Nothing
anything
gives you
like this
more
again.
motivation when
Oh,
somebody tells you you
maybe.
can't.
So are you
right?
saying the doctors
I'm
know
gonna
what they're
prove it.
doing and say you can't do it to get you to do it?
I think they might
Oh,
be
reverse
just
psychology.
I think so. I think so.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Lord.
and literally I had that surgery that morning, out of commission all day. They get you up and out of bed the following day. There is no like you're out, you're moving around, and that was a
Mhm.
day. I said day one lap around the ICU, then 2 laps and 3 and so on, and that's pretty much how it all started. And
Good
I
for
ended up,
you.
because we had some complications with the collapsed lung, we couldn't get
Mhm.
my blood to coagulate appropriately now that I'm on blood thinners. So I was in the hospital for almost 3 weeks post-op, and it sucked. It was horrible. The first week, you're like, "Okay, you're in a safe place, like, if something goes wrong, whatever." But then,
Mhm.
like, weeks 2 and then going on to week 3, I was like, "Get me out of this place." And they let me go home. My INR range, which is, like, where I need to be, it's 2.5 to 3.5. They let me go home at 1.7, and he said, "If it's not up to 2 within 3 or 4 days, you're back in here." And so we got home, and I'm like, "I'm gonna do everything possible to get it up to 2," and we got it over. I think it was 2.1, and that was it. So,
All
yeah, so
right.
that's how it all started. 1 lap around in the ICU literally led to me crossing the finish line of the Ironman 3 days later. And you wanna hear the coolest thing about this?
Mhm.
Um, the head nurse who took care one of the head nurses in the ICU who took care of me, her husband was a total stud triathlete. You probably know him. His wife who took care of me, she was at the finish line high-fived me when I went through.
No way.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty awesome. Yep, I'm
It's a
sure you
tight
guys have probably
community
it
when you're
is, it
in.
really is.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're in it, it's like, yeah, there's not many of us. Even
No.
with running in the marathon community, 1%.
Yeah,
You know? How
I
often when you
imagine the
go to a big
Ironman
marathon do you see people you know?
right,
That's
right,
true.
exactly.
I imagine the
Yeah, exactly.
Ironman community is it smaller? It's gotta be smaller.
Yeah.
It's way
It
more intense of
is
a sport.
It is, but it's a very tight community.
Mhm.
It's a very welcoming community in many respects, very similar to running, very similar to it. It's an awesome community, though. Everybody's so supportive, and I love it. That's why I've been drawn to it for so long.
That's amazing. So which one
Yeah,
was your first? Or which
like
one was the big one post surgery and recovery?
Like, how do you
Ironman
go
Lake Placid.
about that process too?
Placid.
Where you're like, oh wait, I have to swim. I need to learn how to swim. Like, what was that first step?
So I grew up at our house. We had a pool, and I thought, I've had a pool. This will be a piece of cake. Well, I get into the pool in 2008. I get into a lap pool. I think it was over at the YMCA, and they were like, get to the other end. I couldn't get to the other end. I'm like, I can't swim. This is no way. This is not going to happen.
It wasn't your heart, Jeremy. I couldn't do it either when I tried.
I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to be able to do this? Well, I ended up doing a sprint triathlon in Massachusetts. And it was on a dare, actually, because I was at the time grappling with some friends. And we were, I don't know, in between grappling, sparring, whatever. And he's like, I dare you to do a sprint. So I ended up doing the sprint. It was a total disaster. I borrowed a bike from a friend. I get out there on the shore. Okay, you guys will die with this one. I didn't have a wetsuit. I just had basketball shorts on. And I think it was like that morning, I was like, the drawstring broke. So I couldn't tighten the shorts. I go out. I was literally the last person to finish in the swim. I got on the bike, did that, did the run. It was fine. I loved it. I was totally obsessed and hooked. I was like, okay, I am going to figure this out. I am going to figure out how to swim. I'm going to figure out how to do this. And then I remember the first time I swam a mile, it was in Lake Placid. I went up to volunteer because that was also around the time, it was in 2009. You had to, get in line the year before to guarantee getting a spot. Because the Ironman spots were so, like if you weren't in line a year before or you didn't volunteer, you didn't get a spot. And it's, because it would sell out in hours. And so I did. I went up, I swam with a friend. I did a mile. I was like, I can do this. I got work to do, but I can do this. And, a year later, I'm crossing that finish line. So
good for you.
Mike Riley's like, Ironheart Jeremy, you are an Ironman. Did you tell him your story? Like, because you know how you can fill in your story. Did he say something, anything to do with your heart?
Not that I recall. When I was coming through there, that chute was so loud. The energy was incredible. It was so fun. But I did meet Mike Riley at an event in Massachusetts. And I told him that story. I said, I remember you calling me across the finish line. And he was awesome. He was so cool. We had a great conversation for like 15 minutes or so. Good guy.
Awesome.
Really good guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so cool. What hour did you finish at? I'm curious. I'm not worried about your time, but did you finish in the day or the night?
I finished in the night. This soccer can only take so much.
So the nighttime is the right time at an Ironman.
There's more people out. It's crazy. It's wild. It was so fun. Yeah. I was 15 and a half hours.
So you were, because you get 17. So you weren't right in that last hour, which is epic, but that's when it's building. And everyone's got the thunder sticks and the DJs playing. Darren Roy should DJ like the finish line of an Ironman. It's just so intense. It's a party. And Mike gets everyone going. And it's because typically in the last couple hours, it's just like 4 or 5 people finishing. And it's a build up to that person. And it's so much fun. And that's what I miss so much. It's been, 2019 was my only full Ironman. But it's been like 4 years since I've done any kind of triathlon. And I miss it.
All right. Time to make a comeback there.
I know. No, I just put the bike up for sale, actually.
Wow.
Well, when I do it, I want a newer bike. I will just say that.
All right. Good call.
You didn't sell it yet, Eric.
Yeah, I didn't sell it yet.
Take it down.
Yeah, I had a blast. It was so fun. I do remember my intention was to stay until that 17-hour mark to see everybody come through. But after like 15 minutes of hanging out, I said to my wife, I was like, okay, there's no restaurants open right now, and except for McDonald's. Yeah. And we had like a 45-minute drive from where we were staying, because we didn't stay in Placid. We stayed outside at a friend's place. I was like, we need to hit that McDonald's right now before they close at midnight so I can get some food in me. And it was the best. So, yeah.
What an incredible accomplishment. Yeah. I mean, just to celebrate your health, your working heart, your iron heart.
Yeah.
How long was it in between the second surgery and this Ironman?
second surgery in the Ironman was 3 years, and it was almost to the day. Within, I think it was a week difference or so, or a week and a half difference. Yeah,
What a way to celebrate the anniversary.
it sure was. Yeah, it was crazy. It was so fun. The whole thing was, it was a blast. I'll never ever forget that Ironman ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lake
hard
Placid's a
course.
special one.
It is.
Yeah. Now, is that your only full Ironman, or have you done more?
I did Arizona in 2023.
Okay.
Yeah, I did Ironman Arizona in 2023. Equally, it was, because 2020, when I did it in 2010, we only had my oldest daughter, and she was a year and a half at that time. So in 2023, I was like, okay, we're not having any more children. I want all three of our girls to see this. So we went out to Arizona, and I'm glad I did, because now the race is no longer. It's discontinued.
Oh,
So
they got rid of it. Oh.
they did. Yeah. I guess a lot of, not because of participation, but I think there's so much development in Tempe that they safely could not put that race on going forward, I guess.
There's so much with the logistics in these races, and like the whole entire city or town, village in Mount Tremblant, like where I did it, shuts down. You can't get in and out. Like in Mount Tremblant, you have to stay in the village. You can't stay 45 minutes outside unless you're prepared to leave after midnight and get McDonald's.
Oh.
You can't, like, it's just, there's one road in and out, and you're biking on it.
Yeah,
And
right.
Lake Placid's not like, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So there's no easy way to get there, and there's no easy way to get out.
Right, exactly. But what a special place, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been there so many times, mostly in the winter playing hockey, but I love it.
oh, it's awesome.
So nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilly though, hard
Oh
course,
my
but a
gosh.
fair course.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
Arizona, was it flat?
So in Arizona, it's about 2,300 feet of elevation. And you go out, you got a slight uphill. When you come back, it's a slight downhill. However, the winds can be absolutely brutal. And I remember in 2023, the winds were, I mean, you're hoping to get some speed going back, right? And I think my speed was like 11 miles per hour heading back. 30 the winds were like
headwind?
30. And I got out on 106 here up in Concord and did a lot of training, knowing that we're probably going to get some headwinds. And same, I mean, I was prepared for it, but not for 30, 35 mile per localized winds out there. And when you get into the city, when you get into Tempe, totally fine, no problem. But you're only in Tempe for, a couple miles as you make your way in. So
Just feels not fair. Like you got Lake Placid and Mount Tremblant, both have over 6,000 feet of climbing. And then you go to that one in Arizona, it's like 2,000 feet. This is going to be easy. And then you got 35-mile-an-hour winds.
there is no easy Ironman. And that we got so spoiled in Lake Placid on the swim. The swim in Tempe was like 59 degrees, 60 degrees. It was so cold. And you can put your hand in there and you cannot see your hand in the water. It's disgusting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't tell
nasty.
Erika that. I'm trying to get her to do a
Oh, I
triathlon
heard
one
this
day.
already.
Ugh.
Choose
I'm gonna do it
wisely
like-
when you do
I'm gonna
pick.
do like your kids do with the swimming pool. Like you just have to do one lap, and like I'll do that part.
Yeah, choose wisely, because it was, I remember I got out and I knew that I was going to get sick and throw up the water, because I didn't throw up in Lake Placid. That was perfect. All the training we did around here, no problems. But getting out there, I ended up getting sick, but it was fine. I got sick and felt like $1 million afterwards. I was like, okay, I'm good. I just threw up. Yeah, I was like, all right, I just threw up half a Tempe Town Lake, but I'm good now. It's good.
You can rally, baby.
You can
Love
rally.
it. So at this time, even before this time, you started your gym, your fitness journey, like your coaching, and you're still doing it today. I see all the content. I see you got Miss New Hampshire out there helping you make content, and
I saw them on the course. They
Right,
get cheap.
Exactly. You're getting them to do half marathons, and you have a lot of people like, are you still building this at the time while you're doing your triathlon journey?
Yes, absolutely. And it's always a continuous build, and also the openness to evolve and pivot. I've changed
Like
a lot
what
of things.
Erika should do with her question, evolve. Sorry,
No
I had
comment.
to.
No
I had
comment.
to.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, you got to be willing to pivot. There's a lot of competition in the fitness business, especially up here. I mean, on every corner, there's a new gym popping up. But you have to, you've got to at the end of the day, deliver a really good product, the best product that you can deliver, build the relationships and, just, have an openness to pivot and evolve.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you do, why you do it, and tell people like where it is, what the goal is with the gym, and sometimes like if someone is looking to join a gym in that area,
Mhm.
why choose yours?
Sure, sure. Yeah, no, great question. Like I said, I've been doing this for 17 years. I love what I do. The people that I get to meet, I mean, the individual that you met when we initially connected back in March, I met him aside from the funeral. um, he ended up coming into the gym and his story is incredible. He's lost 120 plus pounds. And he's now on this running journey, but also a big part of it is his fitness journey. And, just being able to be a part of that and being a part of other individuals and just seeing them and what they're able to accomplish. I'm a big believer and we can always do hard things. Not everybody is going to go and run a race, but to them, that hard thing might be, walking into that gym to sign up for that membership. I've only
Sometimes that's
got
the hardest part is just
That
getting
is.
getting there and getting out the door.
Absolutely, and I at one point years ago, I had a studio, this is before COVID, we had 80 to 100 active members. We had,
Hmm.
it was a very different thing. I didn't do any one-on-ones. I did a little bit of coaching. COVID happens, everything changes. We lose, 80% of our membership in 45 days. So
Oh,
we
no.
had to change. And then, other things left the studio that I was at, move, because I had my own studio. I moved into another place and it's just rebuilding. W- have got a couple of classes that I teach during the week. I predominantly work with one-on-ones, but now I'm evolving into the coaching stuff. I'm doing more speaking. I've had opportunities to get on stages, which I love, 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 love doing, and I do see that in the future, that is where I'll be. I'll be doing more speaking opportunities, being on stages, and having my coach clients because when you can have clients you can coach online, you don't need a space to rent. You don't
Mhm.
There's a lot of benefits to it, and that's what I'm pushing forward leaning into right now.
There we go.
I saw,
Yeah,
yeah, I saw you spoke at the Boston Marathon Expo for Team Abbott. You
yep,
do TED Talks. You have a 2026 film coming.
we do. It is so awesome. They were here a year plus ago. They filmed at the New England it was the New England half marathon was part of the story. But they were there, they were with us for 3 days. My kids love going on YouTube. They love going on Instagram and recording and everything. And all of a sudden we put cameras in front of their face and they like freeze. They were
That's
like,
because it's like legit. When you get like a real camera, you're like, uh-oh, this isn't a phone.
exactly.
This is
Oh my gosh.
important.
It was so funny, but we had a blast. So there was a film company from out in Utah. They came up, filmed. We have
This is legit.
the documentary. Yeah, it's amazing. We've had a couple of local groups, Delta Dental being one of them. That when Tom found out what we were doing, Tom jumped right on board and said, "How can we help? How can we be a part of it?" He's been
I love
amazing.
that.
So that will be out, I'm guessing sometime by September, October at the very latest. And when we do, we're gonna screen it. We're gonna fill the first showing will be here at Red River. I want you
Can I
guys there.
come?
You
I
guys
will
get
be
tickets
there.
on the house. I want you guys there. So
We are so happy about that. Oh, we will be there for you.
I do have a visual reel trailer that I can send. I'll send it to you guys. It is so cool. They did an amazing job, and we're hoping we're gonna do some big things with it. So it's all good.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is so cool. This
yeah.
is so cool. I'm so glad you
So
came up to us at the St. Patty's 5K.
Right?
Me,
But
it
quick
was
question.
because of Erika Sweat. It was Erika that got because she's like, "Come on over here." I was like, "All right, I'll jump on." So
Thank you,
Today is
Erika.
Erica's birthday.
Wait, today?
is?
I think so, yeah.
Oh,
Today
I'm gonna-
recording?
Yeah.
Well, this comes out a couple
The
weeks
11th.
after, but happy birthday, Erika
Happy
Sweat.
birthday, Erica. Happy belated birthday, Jeremy.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna text her after we get off and text her a happy birthday. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Jeremy, how did this whole documentary thing come to be? Did they reach out to you? Did they hear about your story, or was this something that you wanted to gather together, or like what was the origin story of that?
Great question. So, do you know James Lawrence, Iron Cowboy?
Yes.
Yes.
So I had him on my podcast show a while back, and he and I got talking. He's from Utah, and something got brought up. He's like, "You got to check out these guys with Sturry." He's like, "I think when they did the 50-50 or when he did the hunt, one of them, they were a part of something that he did." He's like, "Let me make a connection, whatever." He made the connection. Next thing I know, I had an interview with them. They're selective in the sense that they like stories similar to mine. They tell a lot of cancer stories. They tell a lot of comeback stories. We
Mhm.
talked and they said, "This is what we want to do. What do you think?" And I said, "I'm on board. Let's do it." And they've been amazing to work with. Dan and his
That's
whole team
awesome.
over there, they are top notch. I think they put out now over 600 plus films like this.
Wow.
A couple
I
of them are
watched I watched 50-50-50. He did 50 Ironmans, 50 days, 50 states. Now
yep.
this wasn't Erica, this
Whoa.
wasn't like at Ironman. He would do it just by
Like on his
himself.
own?
He would
Yeah.
drive to the state and do one,
I'm
and then they
looking
would
this
drive
up.
to another state and do it. It was really well done. And like they had the bad weather days, the good weather days. It was
Mhm.
hard. He wasn't raising the money he was hoping to raise at the time. And so he's struggling like in the documentary. Like, why am I doing this? I've only raised 50K. My goal is 100K. I'm making the numbers up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But the storyline was so good. And if it's
Yeah.
the same production company, this movie that you're going to be a part of in the fall is going to be just as good, better.
It is. I'm not sure. They may have done, assisting production or something, but I know that there was work that they did, and James was like, "You gotta talk to these guys. They're
Yeah.
amazing." And that's how that happened, and, and the thing is too, James, like, he had gone bankrupt prior, lost his
Oh.
home, I mean, everything, and then next thing you know, he's out there doing this. It was just it was amazing. He's amazing. And I met him in Boston. We connected, at the hotel. He was in the lobby, and I was like, "Hey, I got a couple minutes, you around?" Nicest guy in the world. If you guys could ever get him on the show, I'm happy to make a connection. He is amazing.
Yes. Very cool. We'll talk about that off air, but while we got you on, you mentioned Boston. You've run 8 Boston
Yes.
marathons. I'm assuming these all happen after heart surgeries.
Yep.
Like, you're doing triathlons, you're starting to dabbling a little more in running. You're running almost 400 races since that second surgery. Let's hear a little bit about the running journey in the Boston Marathon too.
In 2009, I believe it was 2009, I went down. Lance Armstrong was running. I think it was either 2008 or 2009. I go down to watch the Boston Marathon with my best friend, and we watched Lance come through, and we're like, "Oh my gosh." And I said to him, I said, "I'm gonna run the Boston Marathon someday." We were right at the corner of Hereford and Boylston. He said, "All right, let's do it." And he talked to me, he goes, "Let's go over to the hospital and let's go find your team." We walk over to Tufts. I happened to
Oh.
go in. Now my surgeon was in surgery, so I couldn't talk to him, but I talked to one of his support staff. She came out, we chatted. She had also been, part of my team when I was there.
Mhm.
And I told her, I said, "I'm here watching the Boston Marathon. Someday I'm going to run the Boston Marathon." Well, 5, 6 years later, I find myself at the start line. I got connected with Teddy Bruschi,
Mm.
with
Not a
his
big deal.
amazing, the
Teddy's
best
team.
guy. Oh, he's the best. He's the absolute best. I got connected with them in 2014 during the application process.
Mhm.
Somebody that I knew here from New Hampshire that was connected with the American Heart Association said, "Reach out, put your name in. You got a great heart story. Good chance you could get picked." I got picked to run the 15 marathon.
Yep.
And then I ran 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I ran from home with them, which was a fun time because that year, the last 2 miles, I got to run with Sununu. He met me up. Him and his
Oh,
team met
cool.
me up. Yeah, we ran the last 2 miles in. It was really cool. And then, we ended up, I took a break because I was so burnt out from fundraising. I'm like, I
Yeah.
love the mission and everything, but I was also making a lot of pivots with my studio and everything else that was going on. We just said, "We gotta take a break from it," and I jumped back on in 2015. I'm sorry, 2025.
Mhm.
raced again, and they connected me with Abbott. They said, you got to share. This is for the Chicago Marathon. They're like, we got to connect you. They did. And then that's how that relationship just grew and stuff. They happen to be the maker of my heart valve. It's a natural relationship, and they've been amazing.
Yeah.
And so that was cool too, with Teddy's team making the connection, because they have a very,
Right.
very close relationship. They do a lot together. It's been awesome. Great partnership. And then Team Abbott reached out and said, do you want to run Boston for 2026? I was going to apply again to run for Teddy's team. And I went back to Teddy's team. I said, I feel so guilty. I've only ever run Boston with you guys. I feel like I'm cheating on you. What do we do? And he said, no, go for it. Do it. And I felt very fortunate. I didn't have to fundraise for Team Abbott.
What?
Yeah.
Erika, that's your ticket.
I actually applied.
You did. I love
I
it.
did.
Okay. Good to
You
know.
need to have
Good
open
know.
heart surgery, Erika. You need to join the Zipper Club to join Team Abbott. All right?
There are more deserving people who can take the bibs.
Let me ask you, like, when they approached you, did you have to apply first off? Did they find you? If not, like, did they find you? How did they find you? And then you got to do things. You spoke on panels. They made Instagram posts about you. You had camera crews following you around at some point, or at least you're on their reels.
Yes.
What was that whole experience like from the beginning until the marathon?
So I got connected with them through Teddy's team in the fall of, right before the Chicago Marathon. As soon as they got wind that, okay, I'm a recipient of their valves, I'll, run with it, literally. We were literally on the phone, because when they reached out, they're like, I said, oh, do you want to, try to talk next week or, 2 weeks? They said, no, can you talk like this afternoon? So ended up talking with them, shared my whole story. Next thing you know, I'm with their PR and media team. We're doing different things, talking about how we can do stuff. So I sat on their panel in Chicago, had a blast. It was a ton of fun. And then I got invited out separately in November to Chicago to speak at the Abbott HR conference. So it's like 250, 300 of all of their human resource managers. They all come together. I got to go. They put me up. It was amazing. Like, fly me out, hotel, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then in December, they said, if you want to run, I had to go through a formality. I had to, put my application in and whatever.
That's fair.
But they're like, do you want to run? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to run. And I said, what do I need to fundraise? And they're like, you don't. And then they said, we want to
What a
profile
relief,
you.
right?
It was. I mean,
Yeah.
it was. It's hard. Fundraising is amazing, and I totally believe in it, and absolutely. But I just needed a break. Fundraising break.
How much total have you raised for Teddy's team throughout the years?
So they were initially connected with the American Heart Association, or American Heart and Stroke Association, and then they got away from them, even though they still contribute and all that. But Teddy wanted his own incorporated, so he went formed his own group. I think it's probably somewhere around, since the beginning, 80,000-ish.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I think it's, since they technically were only Teddy's team when they went in 18 or 19, I think it's like 25 or 30 grand. But all collectively, everything going to their mission back to 15 is somewhere around 75 to 80,000-ish. So
that's incredible.
So amazing.
Yeah.
The talking at events like the TED Talks and the Abbott Talks in front of crowds, I imagine that had to be fun. It seems like that's your jam now. We know a few people who just like that, they found that to be their purpose, and it kind of feels the same for you. I love it. I think that's so cool, because you got a cool story. You know how to talk about it, and you must be comfortable now talking in front of crowds like that.
I am. I love it. Now, I was terrified growing up speaking in front of groups. I mean,
same.
Sweat profusely, want to vomit, you name it, that was me. And then having this opportunity in 2023 to do my first TED Talk, that all came about literally on a month's notice, because they had a cancellation. Somebody said, hey, put your name in right now. I interviewed, I got the spot, and I was like, how long do I have? 3-4 months to prepare? And they're like, no, you have like less than 30 days. So I did that.
So how does that work? Like, if you want to do a TED Talk, you just apply and say, hey, in my case, my name's Eric and I started a podcast and I want to talk about it. And then is there like a whole interview? And then are you doing that on your own time? Like, are you doing it? I don't want to ask like, what are you making for money? But is this like a thing you're doing for free just to go out there and talk and get your story out? And hopefully that builds into more opportunities?
Yeah. So anybody who's ever talked on the TED stage, my understanding is that they have never been paid. They do not pay. I mean, even some of the biggest names in the world, you don't. It's more of a prestige thing, or hey, you had that opportunity. I got to speak at Boston College at the Rosham Theater. It was a dream venue. So fun. All the girls were there. They got to see it. They got to hear a part, to them, I'm dad. To them, I'm like, oh, he keeps telling me I got to clean my room, right? But they hear me on the stage and they hear a different person, and they get to hear more of my story and they get it. And so then that has led to, because when you have that, you can use that. They give you the usage rights and stuff, and I've been able to use that to get on other stages that have been paying stages and stuff. So
Yeah.
It's been pretty cool. It's been pretty wild.
I love your journey. It's just, it really is just showing how you can be resilient, even having something as serious as a valve replacement, like congenital heart defect. It's not the end of the world. You can live a normal life. You can do the things you love. And it's just staying on it and staying healthy.
That's it. You just have to persevere. What the thing I use on my podcast is dream, believe, inspire. Dream it. If you can believe it, and then hopefully you can inspire others along the way.
The dream and believe, I believe, because that's how I did this one. I dreamed it and I believed in it. The inspire.
Jeremy's got the inspire.
Yeah.
down.
And maybe Erika is my inspire part on this side. So
it's you never know who's watching, though. There's so many people that sit in the shadows and watch.
Well, I'm not
listen.
the one inspiring people, Jeremy. I hope it's
you
the guest.
are. Look at the show you have. You have an amazing platform. You guys are inspiring people. It's awesome.
Well, thank you. And I wanted to ask, I don't know how long you followed our show, but last year, as every year I evolve and I learn how to pitch and change my question. Last year was the pasta dinner question. And I had this whole thing at the end of the year. Okay, here's our pasta dinner. This is where we're going to put everyone in their tables. And this person's going to sit with that person. We did a whole episode on it. And then we announced our keynote speakers. And I'm going to add you as a secondary keynote speaker alongside President Obama.
I love it. Thank you.
So if it ever really happens, I'm counting on you, because I don't know if Obama's going to really make it. I'll try. I'm going to try, though. I'm going to try.
You never know. And
His wife's already
totally
there at one of the tables. I mean, he might as well come.
I love it.
Yeah. You have a really cool presence in New Hampshire. Born and raised, you live in the state capital of Concord. You have your gym. You have your podcast. You're going to have a movie about you in a few months. But you also work with Millennium. And I didn't realize this when we met you in March. What do you do for Millennium? Because you've mentioned a couple times when you've worked for Millennium and you've worked with Darren.
Mm-hmm. So I work part-time, very part-time. I probably do maybe 10 to 15 events for them each year. And I just do event logistics and stuff, set up, clean up, all the cones you see on the road. I mean, our team's out there, we're laying them, picking them up, all the mile markers, all that stuff. So John has been amazing. I went to John a couple of years ago and I said, hey, make a couple extra bucks. And he's like, oh, you can race for free too. I was like, all right, sign me up. So I just kind of pick and choose the ones that, fit our family. And as long as it doesn't conflict with our girls' dance comp schedules and stuff, I usually try to jump in. And they're an awesome crew to work with. His team is top notch. They're amazing.
Yeah. No, it's been a blast this past year since we met him and started doing those shows, which are just so much fun. They're a blast.
So much fun.
And people just
love
heard
seeing you guys there.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of fun. And I finally got to run one the other day, and I got to meet you in the porta potty line again. And it's so much fun to run them sometimes too. So it's just really great events.
It is. And it's also, we're out there, the platform you guys have, what I'm able to do, leading by example. When people are out there and they see you, they're like, okay, he's leading by example. So I think it's important that we're out there doing it.
Yeah.
Well, we see you leading by example with Miss New Hampshire. Tell me this story. She goes to your gym, you run with her. I think she just ran her first half marathon. I wish I thought of this before. We would have called her in right now. But you do this with, I'm sure, more than just her. You do this with other clients. And like Jeff, you run with Jeff, you train with Jeff, and you run with Jeff. So it's not just like a, hey, I'm going to train you in a gym. Good luck in your race. You go and you run with them.
I do. And Miss New Hampshire, so we're talking about Santi Russell, and she was the Miss New Hampshire 2025. I've had the opportunity to work with the two previous, both Brooke Mills and Emily Spencer, 2023, 24. But with Santi, I kind of race bullied her. I'm not gonna lie. We were training one day back in, I think it was November or December, and something was said. And I was like, hey, you know what? Let's jump in, do the 2-miler at the You'll Light Up the Lights up at the Speedway.
Yep.
She's like, okay, I'll do it. If I like it, I'll do a half, or I'll do, I think it was,
That's
if I
a
like
big
it, I'll
jump.
do the 10K. And then I was like, look, if you're gonna do the 10K, we're gonna do the half. So we did the 2-miler together. And next thing you know, she's like, all right, I'll sign up for the 10K, which she signed up like literally that night. And I said, you're going to sign up for the half. And she signed up for the half. We had a blast training, did a bunch of, 8, 9, 10-milers together. Unfortunately, she was really sick the day of the half marathon. So I think she wants to get one more go at it at some point when she's healthy. But yeah, we had a blast. So, but
New England
yeah,
half in the fall in Concord and at the state capitol.
yes. She,
A good one.
fortunately for her, she's going down to work at Disney. She just gave up her reign as Miss New Hampshire a week ago. And she's leaving. I was actually training with her this morning, but she leaves June 1st to go to Disney for an 8-month contract down there to work.
What is she
Very
doing? I'm
cool.
curious.
I believe she's going to be one of the character princesses.
Yes, that's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
She
a
might
pretty-
get
it's a
picked
pretty
up
cool
by
gig.
an IndyCar driver.
What?
Did you know this?
No.
Joseph Newgarden, who's like a 3-time Indy 500 champion, met his wife at Cinderella's castle dinner, like the
Was
character
she
dinner.
Cinderella?
She was one of the princesses. I don't think she was Cinderella. She might have been Belle.
Oh
And-
my God, that's so
and-
cute.
They connected. She was very professional, apparently, but like his dad slipped the email address to her somehow. And then she emailed and they went on a date and now they're married with kids and everything.
Wow.
That's so cool. I had no
Yeah.
idea.
And then someone else I know, their cousin is Mary Poppins.
Oh, no
That's
kidding.
that's
It's
so
actually
fun.
it's
What a job.
it's my cousin's wife's cousin, something like that.
Huh,
So-
no kidding.
Yeah, we saw her and I took a picture. I go, "Is this her?" And she goes, "That's my cousin."
That's awesome.
That's so cool. I do know sometimes those contracts that a Disney princess has could be a much longer contract than 8 months, but you have to go and do a couple months at Disney Tokyo, a couple months at Disneyland, a couple months at
Oh.
Disney World. You don't just get to stick to one, but that's so cool she's doing that. And she could run
Yeah.
the Disney half marathon.
She could. And I've talked to her. I said, hey, if I can get down there and I think it's in November or whenever,
They have
could
a
I
few
talk
to
you
choose
into it?
from. Yeah.
She does, yeah. And she said maybe. She still has not hit that runner's high though. Like
Oh.
not
Hey,
yet. I
it
know.
took me a solid probably 10 years before
She's
I
young.
truly enjoyed running. So I do not blame her for not loving it off the bat. It happens and it takes time and yeah, discipline and dedication and
Yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
she's got plenty of time.
Yeah. She's
absolutely.
young. She's young. Jeremy, I think you're a fan of this podcast. You know what's coming up next. We have our 2 final questions brought to you by My Race Tats. And I'm going to let Erika go first with her
Me?
non-changing, never makes a pitch, never evolves question.
You know what? If we both kept evolving and it would just get to be too many logistics, so one of us, I am happy to just stay the same so you get the creative vision, okay? I am a creature of habit. I will keep things the same. But Jeremy, we have a Spotify playlist and we like to invite our guests to add songs to it. And I said songs, so Eric can go.
Whoa,
screw it.
no.
We'll
Song.
see. But Jeremy, is there something that you like to listen to that just pumps you up, gets you motivated, gets you out the door?
Absolutely. You guys are gonna die when I tell you it. The original Karate Kid, Phil Esposito, you're the best.
Phil Esposito?
Phil Esposito. I used to
The
listen
same
to that.
Phil Esposito I'm thinking of.
The
Number 7, retired in
No.
the rafters for the Boston Bruins.
No. I don't believe so. No, I don't
Is
think
he a
so.
singer?
We're gonna look this up.
I don't think it's the same, but you know.
No, I don't think so either. But that is, I can listen to that song and I am totally jacked up all day for it. It is my. I listened to it
Those
before
are the vibes
Boston.
we look
Oh,
for.
that and Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting.
Yeah.
Also a good one.
Yeah.
Also a good one.
And then what's the one? Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Everybody.
That's a fun one.
Have
Yeah,
fun
that's a fun
tonight,
one.
Wing Chun.
My question this year is a hot take. I want a hot take from Jeremy. It can be fun. It can be, silly. It can be serious. Give me a hot take for the year 2026. For the year of hot takes, as I'm calling it.
Oh boy, hot takes. Lots of evolution. Yeah, I don't. Just being open to like we were talking about before, being open to pivot and evolve, and really just leaning into my heart and where I want to go with things, and what what my what my calling is, and where I will serve people the best.
Write that down, Erika. I got a hot take. I think Erika is going to change her question at the end of the year. That's my hot take.
Nah.
Jeremy, this was so cool, man. This was so much fun. Listen, the
I had
Zipper
a
Club,
blast.
that's a new one. The Zipper Club, 8 Boston marathons, over 400 races, are approaching 400 since your last open heart surgery. I can't wait to see you at the show in the fall when your film comes out. That will be a lot of fun. Keep us in the loop. Let us know. Maybe we live podcast from the show, or maybe we just take it in and enjoy it, and then we'll have you back on after to talk about it. That would
be awesome. I would love it. That would be so great. And thank you guys. This is, like I said, this has been the highlight. This is the highlight of my week right here.
You're too kind, Jeremy. Honestly, this was such a pleasure to get to know you better and to just learn your story. And you truly are an inspiration. So I hope that it reaches our listeners and goes and inspires more people.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
One more question, actually, dude. Am I going to see you in a couple weeks at all these happy hour hustles on Thursday nights?
Absolutely. I will be there. My plan is to get all 5 happy hours. So
Same.
I will see you there.
Awesome.
Same.
I think I can only make one of them, so I will be there. Somebody's got to keep Eric and Tara honest. We gotta have some kind of tiebreaker, like somebody just
There'll be
make
no
sure they're playing
tiebreaker. I'm
fair.
just going to crush her. I'm going to crush her
No
dreams.
tripping, Tara. Okay, no tripping.
Which one are you
No
going to be
tripping.
at,
Okay,
Erica?
you didn't say no
The
pushing
July
over
one.
though.
I can do the July one.
Do you?
So the July one is 2 miles from my house. It's at Pembroke Pines.
Yes.
Oh, no way.
All
That
right.
one I may not be racing. That's going to be like the week after I have like a 72-hour ultra that I'm doing. So it's going to be a very slow, relaxed one for me, but maybe I can just keep an eye on those two. And
you are crazy. You are crazy.
I am a little bit. Yes.
Well, I can't wait to see you at the next one, man. My goal, just like you, make all 5 happy hour hustles. But guys, that was wicked awesome. Ironheart Jeremy Woodward from Concord. We'll keep you in the loop when his film comes out. That's so cool to hear. Let's sell the place out, guys. Let's sell it out. It's going to be wicked awesome. Jeremy, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. This has been an absolute blast being on here with you tonight. Thank you.
Jeremy, we are so happy to get a chance to finally talk to you for your own episode. I know we did get to speak a little bit back in March when we first met, but having you and just hearing your whole story, it really is so inspiring. You are an incredible person, and I'm really looking forward to when your documentary drops. So just make sure you keep us in the loop for that.
I can't wait. His song, you remember his song?
Mm-hmm.
He wanted "You're the Best," and he said it's by Phil Esposito, and I was like, the hockey player? He's like, no, different Phil. He instantly, like after we stopped recording, he sent me a DM. He goes, I can't believe I did this. It was Joe Esposito.
Oh.
So "You're the Best"
Easy
by
fix.
Joe Esposito. And I played it today on the story with the teaser post. And I was like, I know that song. So it's funny. Sometimes people will say these songs, especially these oldies, we'll call it an oldie song.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, I know that song. That's a good song. So Joe Esposito, "You're the Best." Jeremy, You are the best. Anyways, that was wicked awesome. Thank you to my race tats for bringing us that episode.
As always.
You guys are incredible. My race tats is staying on board in a different capacity for the summer series because we have 2 other new sponsors coming on board for the summer series. It's so cool. And we're doing some fun things when you're going on vacation. I'm going to be with one of them, pre-recording some stuff and making some content. Yeah, right on.
Thank you guys
You
for
should
believing
do it
in
with
us.
our other sponsor since that's your connection and you want to do the feet content. Like that could be your start. It could be.
Man. Should never have brought that up.
Guys, we're back tomorrow for the Global Running Day. On Thursday, we might be at the Salem Run Club. I need to get a babysitter. We might be there. And then the following Thursday, I will be at the Happy Hour Hustle. I have to sign up. Tara Pterodactyl said she'll tell me when there's only 10 spots left. Right now, there's like 35.
Really? You're going to wait last minute? You know you're going to do it. Just sign up.
I'm waiting to the point where I know if I have to get a babysitter, which I won't know till this weekend.
Oh, well, let's hope
Even
it
though
does
I
not
probably
sell out.
should get a babysitter and then cancel on them if Ashley's not working.
Yeah.
I should probably just do that. Maybe that would be the smarter
You're
thing.
playing a dangerous game, dude.
I love it. My middle name,
Gamma.
Danger.
Middle name,
Iceman.
Gammaphobia. Just do it. Just do it.
Awesome. Listen, we're going to have to catch up. I was about to do my little Kyle Busch thing. I'll do it when we catch up. I want to talk about Kyle Busch too for a little bit. We're going to have a wicked fun episode. But I'll mention one thing about Kyle Busch right now. And it just has to do with your name because I'm changing your nickname.
For what?
A lot of people will write down KFB. What would that KFB, like your initials, right?
Yeah? Kyle
Guess what?
fucking Busch?
Kyle fucking Busch. And I thought of it.
We used to call my friend, one of the Penguins, Mike Rabideau. We used to call him Mike fucking Rabideau, so.
Well,
that's his name. But
I have a new one for you.
Yeah?
You're SSFE. 6-star fucking Erika, take us home.
It took a minute for my mind to compute that. I was like, wait, there's too many letters. All right. Thank you again to My Race Tats for supporting us. We love you so much, and we hope that you guys go out there, check the show notes for the link, and support them because they are amazing. So, as always, thank you for listening. You know we love you.
Don't fear the code brown.
And don't forget to stretch.